So going to wash this today and see how much of it was clay. So I've got my sieve set up, ready to go. Got my water. Got my scale waiting. I'm just going to weigh that stuff, those clay balls first, all those colours. Going to put it all in this container. Have to get this set back to 0. Right, that's 0. Okay, that's good. Okay, just got to get all of these remnants and put them in there. So I won't bore you with that, but they'll be tipping that in and brushing in all of the really fine stuff. So that's going to take me a while. Yeah, and I'm just wanting to point out that I do this stuff, you know, as accurately as possible. So I've brushed that pan and got it down into this corner. So I'll brush that into the container because that all goes towards the weight and the calculations. And once again, I've brushed out this big tray. It's taken me a while, brushed it all down with this. I've got these remnants here, so they'll go into the mix, and I'll be brushing that out, you know, really carefully. So even though this is all in the shed, backyard sort of stuff, it's almost, you know, like working in a laboratory. I do this really accurately as I can, without being in a sterile lab. Right, so to recap, I got everything out of there, brushed it out, placed it in the container. I've got everything out of the big white tray. It's all in here now. Now I go and weigh this. So my scale had timed out, so I'm going to put the whole thing on. Let that settle. I'm going to breathe over this just to make it reset itself. 65.4, 65.5, 65.4. So that's telling me it's like high. So if there was another decimal point, it would be 65 for about 8 or 9, because so close to 5. See that? So yeah, it's the top end of 65.4, just under 65.5. That's 0.1 of a gram. So I'm talking 0.01 of a gram. Okay, so this will go out to the sieve and get wet sieved, and all I'll have to do is, I've got it on record what the weight was. I'll have to come back and weigh this container after I've taken out my dust, my remnants. I'll be brushing out that container also. Okay, so I got the remnants out, brushed it out, and it's now sitting in here in my sieve. That bucket underneath is obviously empty, and I'm going to have a slow water trickle going over this. Just remember, whatever passes through this sieve is going to be clay and silt. What remains is going to be aggregate and possibly other stuff that is larger than 75 microns. Okay, it's a bit hard trying to do all this one-handed with my phone, but as you know, I try to do it all in one take, so I don't have to sit in front of a silly computer editing stuff. So anyhow, so I have used this soft flood flow on here. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to risk tipping it over because I'm one-handed at the moment. Anyhow, I'll swirl that around and that will come out. I'll just give you a brief glimpse of that. Then I'll continue washing and sieving until I believe I've got everything out through the sieve, and then we'll be able to dry it all off and measure it, and that's how we work out our silt and clay content. Also interesting to note how the colours are starting to go a lot more towards white and yellow. Yeah, that red, creamy red colour is pretty much on its way out. So I've hosed that now probably, well, I think about 4 times. That's how much water's in my bucket. That's a 5 litre bucket. So it's pretty thorough. But what I wanted to point out too is, you probably heard the term triple washed fine sand. They do this sort of thing 3 times, obviously. They wash it, and then they dry it out, and then they wash it again, and they wash it again, just to try and ensure they get all of the stuff out that they're trying to get out. That's triple washed. Here I'm just doing a single wash, but that's enough for me to ascertain what it is that I'm trying to find out. I'm not trying to like gather so much proof that I'm going to use it in court to prosecute somebody, if you know what I mean. One wash is going to be enough. Right, so that's what I've got left. My bucket's nearly full, but just after saying I'm only going to give it 1 wash, I thought to myself, oh look, I might give it a second wash, maybe even a third wash, but they're going to be a little bit quicker, these washes, because I'm going to put them in some rectangular plastic trays for a particular reason. Right, so I've got it over here on a tray like this. I've got another tray like this I'll also do it in, and then obviously I have to have everything evaporate off. So whatever's in there causing that colour is below 75 microns. That's going to take a while to sink and settle until I get clear liquid on top and all the sediments at the bottom. That can take a fair while, depending on what's in there. Is it silt and clay, which is heavier than, say, broken down plant material? But anyhow, that's part of the process. So I'm going to have a second wash over here.